I want to show you yesterday's Herald Sun front page because we didn't have it for you, and it's a really big story. Premier Daniel Andrews dined with John Woodman, director at Centre of Corruption Probe. The Ferrari-driving property developer at the centre of an explosive anti-corruption inquiry has been seen dining at a top Chinese restaurant in Melbourne with Premier Daniel Andrews on at least 2 occasions, with the most recent event hosted by a Labor fundraising entity. It was held in the private dining room of the swanky restaurant famed for its Peking duck, where a Wagyu porterhouse steak costs $120,000. When asked about the event, a spokeswoman for Mr Andrews said he'd attended a number of different progressive business events and political fundraisers where Mr Woodman has been present, and they went on to talk about it. But the Herald Sun has learned of other major Labor fundraisers involving Mr Woodman leading up to the state election, including one in late November featuring Treasurer Tim Pallas at the Builders Arms in Fitzroy. Mr Woodman has spent the past fortnight being grilled by the independent, broad-based Anti-Corruption Commission over $1.2 million in payments he made to Casey councillors Sam Aziz and Jeff Ablett. He denies the cash was in exchange for support for projects in which he had an interest. I've got less than a minute. I want a comment from both of you. Scott Emerson, you go first. Well, this is a big front page that was out and about today on one of the most widely read newspapers. Will this damage Andrews?
Oh, will damage Andrews, and you wonder who else it's going to bring down or cause to really taint them. This is a big story, and these kind of issues do not go away quickly. There's the corruption inquiry underway. I think it'll keep digging up more and more evidence.
It's always at Chinese restaurants, isn't it, James? Particularly with the Labor Party. $1.2 million in payments. I mean, Jesus, like if that's not for some sort of influence, I mean, what else could it possibly be for council? So it does sound like
a big belief in democracy, Tendi. That's a big belief in democracy. That's what it's all about.
So this looks like a big story. It looks like a big story.